So if you see somebody complaining that something is missing, just say, yeah, that's a great idea. Do it. So, Viva la Revolución, right? So last year at the end of Drupal Camp Colorado, we got a bunch of folks together, and those folks, have been collaborating over the past year to help make Drupal Camp Colorado 2009 even better. And I think that we have the opportunity with all these people here to make next year's camp and the meetups and the sprints and the BOFs in between great events. And I hope that you all feel empowered and inspired to help out with that, because there is an opportunity for you there. So speaking of BOFs, at this point, I thought I would open up the floor to anybody who wanted to announce a BOF and try to get folks together around those BOF topics. If you have a BOF that you're thinking of running. Is everybody familiar with BOF, Bird of a Feather? Yes!
Hey, I'd like to talk about how to build a Drupal site that will survive a major version upgrade. You've been around Drupal for a while, and if you work with custom modules or themes, you know what a catastrophe it is if you have 20 sites that you want to upgrade to Drupal 7, or Drupal 8, or whatever. I'd love to talk about strategies for that, and I haven't decided on a time, but I'll tweet it and put it down. But I'd love to talk with you about that. It's such an important thing. How do you build a site that'll survive an upgrade without?
Yeah, I need upgrades that don't pull my hair out. Any other BOFs? I think that's a great one, because there's no session about that really, and so that's what the BOFs are great for, is topics that you want to talk about that there is no session about. Yes, John.
I'm thinking it'd be nice to have a birds of a feather about SQL, MySQL, all that sort of thing. There's not a lot of database-heavy sessions going on. Not exactly sure when, but probably at least after my presentation this afternoon. So maybe tomorrow? I don't know.
Sounds good.
Is there
There's a lot going on with SQL or SQL between Drupal 6 and Drupal 7. And I think it would be interesting to talk about how to get ready to upgrade your modules for Drupal 7. So a bit of a kind of developer focused topic for people who are developers or interested in learning more about it. Yes?
I just recently started developing a Drupal site for our local public TV and radio stations back in Rochester, New York. Maybe I get some further distance. So I don't know if we can make a BOF out of this, but if there's other people in public radio or TV here, just look for me in the hallway and introduce yourselves and get together and know each other.
Great, thank you. Yeah, there's definitely the in addition to Drupal Camp, we've also kind of got some sub-camps within that, the media camp. So I think there's a lot of media people here. I think you just became the point man for all the media people meeting up. The UberCart folks, we have an Uber camp as well and have a lot of sessions focused on UberCart. And I think that the UberCart community knows each other fairly well, but if you're looking for somebody who knows about UberCart because you're interested in learning about it, could you stand up? No, you guys, you got the shirt on, see?
Yeah.
Look for somebody with a shirt like that. or one of the Commerce Guys shirts, right? They also know a little bit about UberCart. Yes?
Yeah, quickly, there's a session on here about starting your own Drupal business, but I think it'd be interesting to have a BOF on for people who already own a Drupal business and to talk about issues that we run into that are maybe not technical in nature. So it's not a programming BOF, but more of a, how do you hire and find the right people? How do you finance projects? How do you build your company? Things like that. And I'd like to propose 5 o'clock today in the Evergreen B.
We did that last year, and it was actually very interesting.
Yeah, so Laura was just bringing up that there was a session about that last year that she attended, and that a lot of local business folks attended as well, and it was one of the sessions that people talk about a lot. So if you're a small business person or a large business person, either way, I guess that could be a great session to go to. What else? Yes, sir.
I am Mike. One of the things we run into a lot in our business is how to merge a development site with a live site while both are changing. So a BOF on best practices for merging those two databases and, you know, trying to not clutter hair at the same time while you're doing it would be cool. I don't know the time yet. I'll read it.
Yeah. I think strategies for moving code between development and a live server is something that almost everybody struggles with. So it's a hot topic for sure. I know the Douglas County folks will probably find you after this. They're interested in that as well. Yes.
There are other library people here that would be interested in this kind of talk, so we'll figure something out.
Yes, the library's Boff. Cool. Well, I'm glad to get that kind of idea behind Boffs rolling a little bit, because it's something that I think can be very valuable to have an impromptu discussion with people on a just one-to-one basis, even though most of the sessions are kind of presentation style. Is there anybody who has a session today or tomorrow that they'd like to introduce and kind of talk about for a minute? Yes, Ben.
Sure. But I have a question first. Is there a Boff board, or is there something somewhere where we can kind of start right now what these Boffs are and how we're going to meet?
Sure.
They're working on it.
There's also on the signs outside of each room that say what happens in there. There's the schedule of the events in that room. Yeah. And because the Boff room doesn't have a schedule, you can just write in on that.
Maybe just graffiti right on there.
Well, try to keep it tasteful. The admin folks probably don't want you writing on their logo too much. There is a nice space for the Boff writing.
And I will talk about my session. Tomorrow afternoon, I think it's at 1:30, so make sure I'm wrong. I'm going to be giving a session on search engine optimization for Drupal. And there are perhaps people in the room, Greg, I know for sure, has contributed one of the best modules for SEO. But I'm just going to basically be giving a quick module and configuration overview. I'm going to go through several modules, install them, configure them, try to blast as many as possible, and then leave 15-20 minutes.
Take that one and I'll go over to the WYSIWYG one.
Toughest SEO questions that you've got on your Google sites. So bring your challenging questions.
Google Analytics with UberCard.
Great. Yes, Nate.
Hey, yeah, I'm giving a session at noon that's web form today and tomorrow, and it's
And then there's a
talking
lunch
about
break,
web
too,
form
so-
module for
How about
anyone who's
basketball?
used it, but it's also going to be talking about Form Builder, which since I wrote the session, I was contacted by the usability team, and I've been thinking that I wasn't going to have time to put it into Drupal 7, but that doesn't mean that other people don't have time apparently. So rather ironically, they're doing a usability sprint this weekend. They have a week of insanely brilliant minds like Constantine Schaefer and Bohan, the usability team lead, all working together to enhance Form Builder for CCK in Drupal 7. So if you want to see possibly what CCK might look like in Drupal 7, depending on the efforts of the community sort of rolling with what we have so far, you can come to the session at noon about web form today.
Awesome. So I'll take that to segue into advertising one of my sessions about modules, where we're going to be talking about web form, because everybody loves web form. Yeah, John?
Ben mentioned the session for entrepreneurs about starting your own business. I'm John O'Schuster. I'm doing that session. And even though it has nothing to do with entrepreneurship, it has a lot to do with data. We've been measuring entrepreneurial success factors for about the past 3 years. And a lot of what I'm going to be talking about is the insights into entrepreneurship that you can gain by looking for patterns in that data. So if you're interested, that's also a good thing.
Cool. Well, so I think we've got the session.
Had insurance.
There's a session tomorrow at 2:30. We'll be discussing how Ping Vision started with 2 people in an apartment 3 years ago and learned how to do project management and how the company grew. And a lot of these entrepreneurial questions will tie into that talk. It's going to be fun. It's not going to be dry. Hope some of you will come.
Great. Okay, I'd like to...
One more. Sorry about that. Today at 11, I'm doing a session on functional interactive design. A lot of us think of beautiful design as being pretty. This is about beautiful design being functional. And it's no real prerequisite knowledge is required, but even though it's a design session, developers are invited too, because this is about how design and development are 2 sides of the same coin. So you're all welcome. Thanks.
Thank you. So we've got sessions coming up in just a couple minutes. Talk with people and figure out what sessions they're going to, and you can get some advice on which would be the best ones to go to. Thanks very much, everybody.